Kenny, did DeAndre go through practice?
Yes, went through practice, put him, through some script, going through the playbook, and then defensive playbook. Also did short video session with him to start getting him up to speed.
What was your first impression?
His size, just stands out, right? Is obviously great length, stout, strong, but it's good to see that in person, right? Yeah.
Based on what you've seen so far, obviously it's very, very early into this, and you're still kind of getting to know everything about him. What are you most excited to kind of untap with him?
Listen, I think first and foremost, it's the positional size. I know that's a catchphrase, but it really it's a defensive end. His first ability to guard different guys, 1 through 5. We all know, guarded Wembanyama the other night, and we could, switch and all that stuff. I'm not saying the offense is going to be easy, for him. It's going to take some time, but I think first order of business is get him to help us, defensively. I think that's where we need him most right now and into the playoffs.
In your history, how long does it typically take to get someone up to speed that's a mid-season average?
Yeah, probably a vet like him. I'd say for him to feel comfortable, probably 3-4 games. For me to really, really in-depth understanding of who this guy is, probably 10 to 15 games. And I'm using the max kind of example, not with him being out all that time. It took me a while to get to where, he's good at the pistol action. He's, good in handoffs. And we obviously have that analytics of what they're good at, but you have to, as a coach, you have to feel it and see how you can best use them in a team setting.
You mentioned the other day needing to go back and do like a deep dive film study on him as a player. What does that process look like for you as a coach?
Yeah, our head video guy, BT, he puts together an edit and both sides of the ball, defensive, offensively. Like I said, we get an analytics breakdown too of what his strengths and weaknesses are, but I do like to know, what actions was he good at in Atlanta? I know he likes to mid-post. I know he's pretty good off-ball screener, right? You start accumulating this information. Then you got to see where that fits with our team. So, like I said, it takes a little bit of time to get the understanding.
So you expect him to play tomorrow night, is that true?
Yeah, barring any, I don't know, barring any physical things that are going on, but that seemed to check out fine.
Obviously, that he's been a good individual defender his entire career, but when you put him with either both Jay and Evan or either one of them, how does that change what he's able to do defensively, even in more improvement?
Yeah, and my message, can that ramp him up, in terms of forcing more turnovers, being more active on the ball, a little more freedom to swipe and poke and get deflections and use his physicality, because we do have those big guys behind him, and I'd say that's not only him but our whole team. I think we started out the season great, turning teams over, up to about mid-January, and then we've had slippage and kind of want to refocus our team on being more active in terms of deflections, turnovers, because we all know that's part of the possession game, but DeAndre can help us in that area, and having the two big guys behind us should give him more freedom to do that.
DeAndre is shooting and making threes at a career high for him, but Kobe said one of the things he likes is his wingspan and how high he can get that ball off to avoid contested shots. So for you, What about that is a compliment to this team, and what about that excites you the most?
Yeah, I mean, he fits our style of play offensively. Obviously, the catch and shoot piece is huge, but he also's been really good on off-ball screening, which we do some of that, but not a lot of it. So I think he can give us more variety. We're a heavy pick and roll team because we got two great pick and roll players, but I think in the playoffs you need variety, and he can give us that off-ball screening. Can get it off against highly contested shots that happen in the playoffs.
Obviously, Ty and DeAndre played together in Virginia, but you've mentioned that this has been a different version of Ty than even you saw when he was in the NBA at Golden State. How exciting is it to see these two guys not only come back to playing with each other, but Ty is playing to an entirely different level?
It's great, good point. I do think it's a storyline. I think those guys won a national championship, right? There's something to that. There's something to their connection and their bond and their relationship. Ty is I can probably more of an extrovert and a pusher and so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that dynamic, but we're not going to hide from it. We're going to highlight it. I think you have to. That's part of this, and Ty playing great obviously gives him more voice and more influence in the locker room, and I think he'll have a real positive influence on DeAndre.
You guys lost Karras in the trade, which is a good amount of bench ball handling and playmaking.
Yeah.
How does Ty's emergence really help?
It's part of it. It's a great point, and I'd even say CP a little bit, and what is relief of in terms of having multiple ball handlers, but that's part of it. Kind of gave us the confidence a little bit, more confidence, in making this deal. I said it. I've been saying it recently. Ty's done it for a long period of time now, right? It's not just 10 games in, 15 games in. This is the All-Star break, we're going to need that. I know when we struggle handling the ball, we get Ty in there, and think back of that Oklahoma City game when we were really struggling, turning it over, pressuring Darius, pressuring Donovan. Ty gives us that third ball handler.
In your early conversations with DeAndre, just in terms of trying to integrate him and get him to understand his fit, what message are you trying to get across to him about that?
Chris, quite honest, I think the first days are build a relation, how's your family? Is your family here? Really, before we talked a little tactics today. We went to UVA for Tony Bennett's, jersey retirement. How was that? How would that? It's more what these guys get to really understand them as people first, and then our assistants do a lot of the video room. They do a lot of the kind of background tactical thing, and we'll get there with him. I just want to get to know him better as a person.
What do you watch
Last
for?
question.
Whether it's 3 to 5 games or 10 to 15 games, whatever. What do you watch for to measure how DeAndre is acclimating to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, probably the first thing, with him is going to be, keep an eye on the lineup data. Now that's tough, right? So 4 games, he's not good with this, so it's not 4 games, and that's part of the 15-game thing. But you start looking at 2-man lineups, 3-man lineups. What, because I know you guys are going to, is he a 4, is he a 3? Well, let's see. Let's see where he fits. It's going to reveal itself, but it's going to take some time. But I would say that's the first order in his lineups, and then I'll look at the defensive data too. In film where he's how much are we switching with him? What's his efficiency when we do switch? How's his defensive rebounding numbers? That's part of the development process, but also the get to know you process.
Will he
All right,
eventually
thank you.
start?
That was the last question.
Can I answer that? We'll see. To be determined.